PM Modi's new team takes charge. First Cabinet and Council of Ministers meetings are held. Over 23,000 crore rupee emergency COVID fund is announced. Sources say Prime Minister expressed concern over pictures of crowded places, says there is no space for carelessness or complacency. India's active cases rise again slightly. Meanwhile, crowds are seen at hill stations, what government is calling revenge tourism. This amid fears of the third COVID wave. Fuel prices are hiked again. This as new minister takes charge. Hardeep Puri says, give me a few days to look at high prices. Two Pakistani terrorists are shot dead in an encounter in Jammu and Kashmir's Rajouri. Two army jawans received fatal injuries. It's the second encounter in 2 days. In Uttar Pradesh, there are gunshots and lathis ahead of local elections. A Samajwadi Party woman worker is disrobed and assaulted. Opposition and BJP trade charges. Hello and welcome to NDTV 24/7. I'm Rohit Wellington. Let's begin with our top story. A day after massive reboot, Modi 2.0 took charge on Thursday. It's pretty much an all-new team, Modi. New ministers on Thursday got down to business. Amid COVID pandemic, new Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia took charge. Mandavia takes over from Harshvardhan, who was dropped from the cabinet. Ashwini Vaishnav also took charge as IT and Railways Minister. Kiran Rijiju taking charge as Law Minister there. Jyotiraditya Scindia took charge as Civil Aviation Minister, and Hardeep Puri took over the reins of the Petroleum Ministry. Anurag Thakur took charge as the Minister for Information and Broadcasting. Meenakshi Lekhi taking charge there as Minister of State for External Affairs. And there was a meeting of Cabinet followed by that of Council of Ministers. A couple of big decisions were taken at the Cabinet meeting. Emergency COVID response package of 23,123 crores was announced. Under the emergency fund, the centre will be giving 15,000 crore rupees. States will be allocating 8,000 crore rupees. There's a provision for pediatric departments in 736 districts and 20,000 ICU beds. That's what the government announced. Also, Agriculture Investment Fund, a 1 lakh crore package for farmers. Government said that the Agriculture Produce Market Committees or APMCs can use this fund, and as a result, they will be strengthened.
सेकंड वेव्स में हमें जो दिक्कतें हमारे सामने आई, जो समस्याएं हमारे सामने आई, वो भविष्य में हमारे सामने इस स्थिति को हम भविष्य में कैसे निपटे, उसके लिए 23,000 करोड़ रुपीस का एक पैकेज है। ये पैकेज में कुल मिला के केंद्र सरकार और राज्य सरकार दोनों साथ में मिलके उसका इम्प्लीमेंटेशन करेंगे और ये पैसा स्टेट को दिया जाएगा।
अवसंरचना फंड 1 लाख करोड़ रुपए का आत्मनिर्भर भारत के अंतर्गत प्रावधानित किया गया है। उस 1 लाख करोड़ के फंड का उपयोग ये एपीएमसी कर सकेंगी। मंत्रिपरिषद के निर्णय के अनुसार एपीएमसी भी अब उसके लिए पात्र होंगी और वो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर फंड का अपने संसाधन बढ़ाने की दृष्टि से, किसानी के लिए अधोसंरचना उपलब्ध कराने की दृष्टि से उपयोग कर सकेंगी।
Perhaps the most crucial ministry at this time is the Health Ministry, and at this critical time, new Minister Mansukh Mandavia has taken charge. Serum Institute CEO Adar Poonawalla congratulated the new minister and said that he looks forward to the minister's leadership as we navigate through this pandemic. The challenges are immense: scaling up vaccinations and fears of the third COVID wave. Sukirti Dwivedi reports.
Mansukh Mandavia, India's new health minister, took charge today. At a critical time when the fears of a third wave of infections is looming and ramping up vaccinations is turning out to be a challenge.
माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने मुझे स्वास्थ्य मंत्रालय की जिम्मेवारी दी गई है। स्वास्थ्य मंत्री के रूप में प्रधानमंत्री जी की अपेक्षा के अनुसार मैं काम करने की कोशिश करूंगा।
The 49-year-old Rajya Sabha member from Gujarat, who famously rode a bicycle to Parliament, is among the 7 ministers promoted to the cabinet on Wednesday. Mandavia studied veterinary science at the Gujarat Agricultural University and later completed a master's in political science. He began as a member of the BJP student wing, Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad, and rose through the ranks in the BJP. At 28, he became the youngest MLA in 2002. In 2012, he was elected to the Rajya Sabha from Gujarat. He joined Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government first in 2016 and was Minister of State for Road Transport and Highways, Shipping and Chemical and Fertilizers. Mandavia retains the Chemicals and Fertilizers Ministry. It is his performance as MOS of that ministry which made him Prime Minister Modi's choice. During India's second wave crisis, Mandavia played a key role in ramping up production of oxygen and crucial drugs like remdesivir and amphotericin. During his last week as Minister of State, he visited the production facilities of 3 vaccine sites in the country: Serum Institute of India in Pune, Zydus Cadila in Ahmedabad and a Covaxin producing facility in Ahmedabad. Congress leader Rahul Gandhi today tweeted questioning whether the change in the health ministry will mean no more vaccine shortage.
Problem lies with the Prime Minister and we are trying to solve it by changing the rail dabbas when the problem is in the rail engine.
Mandavia's junior, also new to her post, Minister of State Dr. Bharti Pawar, a surgeon and an MP from Dindori in Maharashtra, denied the shortage.
कुछ राज्यों ने शुरुआत में ना कहा था कि हम ये नहीं लेंगे और वही राज्य आज आलोचना कर रहे हैं, तो मुझे लगता है ये राजनीति छोड़कर हम सब ने मिलकर ये भूल जाना चाहिए कि ये कौन से पार्टी का है या कौन से पक्ष का है। सबके लिए वैक्सीन ज़रूर पहुंचेगा, फ्री वैक्सीन देंगे। केंद्र सरकार ने सबके लिए ये काम शुरू कर दिया है।
India's top doctors body, the Indian Medical Association, which had had bitter exchanges with Mandavia's predecessor Dr. Harshvardhan over his support towards Baba Ramdev and Patanjali's anti-COVID drug Coronil, has welcomed the new health minister, but wants a resolution of their key issues.
We have asked for an appointment for a courtesy call with him, and also obviously because our more than 1400 doctors have lost their lives during this COVID pandemic, we would request him to give them a COVID martyr status. And then second part is that the protection of doctors against violence.
It is only day 1 of the new health minister taking charge, but this is in the middle of a pandemic and India needs to prepare itself very well if the third wave of COVID comes, and that is why the task ahead of him is huge. In New Delhi with camera person Ashok Mahale, this is Sukirti Dwivedi for NDTV.
Meanwhile, the crowds are back, especially at hill stations. Sources say that at the Council of Ministers meeting, Prime Minister Modi expressed concern over such instances. He said that pictures of crowded places are not a pleasant sight. A single mistake would have far-reaching impact. Threat of COVID-19 is far from over, he said, and there should be no space for carelessness or complacency.
Pitched battle between policemen and travellers in Shimla. Tourism has come to this in Himachal Pradesh. No social distancing, a common sight at most tourist spots in the hills now. Yet, most of them say they are following COVID protocols.
दुखद है क्योंकि पुलिस के जवान जिन कंडीशंस में काम करते हैं और खासकर कोविड चला है, और अगर कोई ऐसे मिसबिहेव करे और गाड़ी का लॉक देने के बाद भी ना रुके और उसके बाद फिर बदतमीजी करे तो दुखद है। बट पुलिस का रिस्पांस, इवन आप स्ट्रेस में हैं तो पुलिस का रिस्पांस उतना ही इक्वली शांतिपूर्वक होना चाहिए और उनको समझाना चाहिए था।
बिल्कुल इन कंपैरिजन टू इवन दिल्ली और नोएडा जो है, यहाँ पे प्रोटोकॉल ज़्यादा ऑब्जर्व लोग बाग कर रहे हैं, और जो भी विजिटर्स हैं या यहाँ के जो लोकल हैं या जो भी शॉपकीपर्स हैं वो प्रॉपर मास्क में हैं और हर जगह प्रोटोकॉल का केयर किया जा रहा है।
अबे मैं देख रहा हूँ, नहीं काफ़ी हद तक लोगों ने मास्क पहना हुआ है और जितने भी पुलिस वाले हैं या जितने एम्प्लॉयज़ हैं वो सभी को एक दूसरे को अवेयर कर रहे हैं कि अपना मास्क पहने। तो कुछ जो टूरिस्ट हैं, पब्लिक है, वो भी अवेयर है, उसका काफ़ी केयर कर रहे हैं इस चीज़ का कि अपना सारे रह रहे हैं, सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग भी मेंटेन कर रहे हैं।
Revenge tourism. That's how the centre has described this onslaught of tourism in Himachal Pradesh, which may pave the way for the third wave of COVID. Around 27,000 vehicles entered Shimla city in the last week between Monday to Sunday. And perhaps the pleas of this 5-year-old boy, now a Himachal police mascot, summarizes the situation. In 8 days of July, more than 11 lakh collected as fine for COVID violations. Nearly 2,000 challans were issued in the state. Daily COVID cases went up from 143 on 1st of July to 172 on 8th of July. Even the state government is now worried.
मेरा जो टूरिस्ट आ रहे हैं उनसे भी विनम्र आग्रह है कि आप हिमाचल आइए, हिमाचल में घूमिए, हिमाचल में आप रहिए, लेकिन कोविड प्रोटोकॉल को जो है उसको फॉलो करो, उसका पालन करो.
But hotel owners are overjoyed. Hotelier Atul Gautam, unable to pay the EMIs on a bank loan, is relieved.
गवर्नमेंट ने जब से बॉर्डर खोले हैं 10-15 दिन से, तो अब उस वजह से बहुत अच्छा फ्लो है टूरिज्म का, और वीकेंड्स पे ऑलमोस्ट शिमला फुल है, हिमाचल भी मेरे हिसाब से फुल होगा, वीकडेज पे थोड़ी ऑक्यूपेंसी कम है.
Those with even smaller daily incomes are also relieved.
20 जून के बाद थोड़ा काम खुला हुआ है, टूरिस्ट आ रहा है सर, और हमारी रोजी रोटी चल रही है सर.
It's life versus livelihood in Himachal Pradesh. As COVID restrictions have been lifted, tourists are coming in, so certainly the stagnated businesses have now flourished. But to check the spread of COVID in the region, the responsibility not only lies with the government, but with these tourists who are coming from across the country. With VD Sharma in Shimla, Mohammad Ghazali for NDTV.
The other big story, there's no respite from the rising fuel prices. Petrol is above 106 rupees a litre in Mumbai, Jaipur and Bhopal. Petrol is above 100 rupees a litre now in Delhi, Kolkata, Bengaluru, Hyderabad and Chennai. Diesel is above 95 a litre in Mumbai, Jaipur and Hyderabad, and above 90 per litre in Kolkata, Bengaluru and Chennai. And already battling high petrol and diesel prices, consumers in Delhi will now have to shell out more for CNG. CNG retail price in Delhi is up by 90 paise. Now, in strong opposition against spiraling rise in prices of petrol and diesel and essential commodities, Congress carried out massive protests across India. There were protests in Delhi, Aurangabad, Chennai, Bengaluru and Goa.
The new petroleum and natural gas minister and his biggest challenge right now, skyrocketing fuel prices.
You will agree it will be very wrong for me to comment on it when I just stepped into this building 15 minutes ago. If you give me at least a few days to try and understand the complexity of the work.
Do people think a new minister can change things?
No, nothing will change. Even a lay person, a guy who wants to come, who's coming to even clean your house, even he's having a problem coming. Because it changes by like 100 or 200 bucks. Every rupee matters for them.
कि जितने भी मिनिस्टर हैं, कहने को मिनिस्टर है, कंट्रोल तो मोदी जी के हाथ में. मिनिस्टर अपना स्वतंत्र कोई निर्णय ले सकते हैं क्या? कोई मिनिस्टर आज के रेट में कोई बदलाव नहीं होने वाला. पेट्रोल का दाम ऐसे बढ़ते ही जाएगा.
But why do prices keep going up? Experts say that fuel rates are revised in tandem with global oil rates. Demand for oil is now on the rise globally as economies are opening up. Government can either fix tax amount on fuel so it doesn't rise when base price rises, or subsidize oil companies so prices are not raised for consumer.
Every day increasing fuel prices are not only burning a hole in the pocket of the consumers but also pushing the inflation to an all-time high. Now all eyes will be on the administration of Hardeep Singh Puri as he takes charge of the Petroleum Ministry, with the hope that the government takes some decisions to provide respite to the common man. With camera person Sushil Rathi, I'm Akshay Dongre, NDTV.
Narayan Rane's induction into the Union Cabinet on Wednesday is being viewed as an unexpected rise for the veteran politician. It perhaps signals BJP's intent to strengthen its base in the coastal Konkan region and its push for a Neta who can directly take on Uddhav Thackeray.
मैं नारायण तातुरानी ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूं कि
Narayan Rane's induction into the Union Cabinet is significant given his bitter rivalry and history with Shiv Sena. The BJP's messaging is clear. It is ready to take on the Mahavikas Aghadi government. Rane, who started his career with Shiv Sena, went on to become the Chief Minister of Maharashtra in 1999 and fell out with the Shiv Sena in 2005 after Uddhav Thackeray's rise. He soon joined the Congress and quit after 12 years. He formed his own parties, Maharashtra Swabhiman Paksh, in 2017, and in 2019, he formally joined the BJP, winding his own party. Rani lost his Vidhan Sabha seat in 2014 and his son Nilesh Rani also lost his Ratnagiri Lok Sabha seat twice in 2014 and 2019. But his other son Nitesh Rani is currently an MLA in Maharashtra Assembly. Rani was accused of money laundering in a real estate project, as well as he was probed by the then BJP Sena government into a case involving denotification of industries land. Rani's clout in the Konkan region, a stronghold of Shiv Sena, but a region where the BJP has been historically weak. Rani is also an arch-rival of Uddhav Thackeray and one of the staunchest critics of Shiv Sena. With local body elections due next year, the BJP hopes to consolidate its position using Rani, especially in Sena strongholds Mumbai and Thane.
ते महाराष्ट्राचे मुख्यमंत्री होते, अनेकदा मंत्री होते, अनेक पद त्यांनी सांभाळलेली आहेत, पण त्यांना आता लघु आणि सूक्ष्म खात्याचं मंत्रिपद दिलेलं आहे. शिवसेनेला फटका बसण्यासाठी जर त्यांना मंत्रिपद दिला असेल तर तो कॅबिनेटचा अपमान आहे मोदींच्या. मला असं वाटतं त्यांना देशाचं काम करण्यासाठी मंत्रिपद दिलं जातं.
In the previous Congress NCP government, Rani was the chairman of the committee constituted to give reservation to Marathas, something else the BJP can use to gain support. With Rani's induction, the BJP hopes to strengthen its base in Konkan and also gain support of Marathas. Also, the BJP signals its intention to push for a Neta who can take on the Thackeray's directly. In Mumbai with camera person Ashok Mahadik, this is Purva Chitnis for NDTV.
There was widespread violence and clashes in various districts of UP on Thursday, including in Gorakhpur, Sitapur, Basti and Bulandshahr during the filing of nomination papers for the block Pramukh elections. Several incidents were reported after opposition candidates were allegedly not allowed to file their nomination papers. Meanwhile, there were these disturbing scenes from Lakhimpur Kheri in Uttar Pradesh, where there was a shocking attempt to disrobe a Samajwadi Party candidate's supporter. Amidst all this, both BJP and SP are trading charges.
समाजवादी पार्टी के लोग एक खराब मैसेज देने के लिए, सरकार को बदनाम करने के लिए, उपद्रव करने की योजना बनाते हैं, जिससे उन्हें थोड़ा एक स्पेस मिल जाए, एक स्थान मिल जाए. लेकिन ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. ये यथार्थ है. जिसके पास संख्या है, जिसके पास नंबर है, वो चुनावों में विजयी हुई है. प्रदेश की महान जनता ने माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी के नेतृत्व में ये काम भारतीय जनता पार्टी के पक्ष में किया है. इसी कारण जिला पंचायतों के अध्यक्ष भाजपा के बने हैं. इसी कारण क्षेत्र पंचायतों के प्रमुख भाजपा के बनेंगे. लेकिन ये उन्हें स्वीकार करना चाहिए.
The other big story, 2 Pakistani terrorists were shot dead in an encounter along the line of control. A defense spokesperson in Jammu and Kashmir said 2 Indian soldiers were killed in action. This was the second encounter along the line of control, or LOC, in as many days. The encounter and intensive search operations come less than a month after a drone attack at an Indian Air Force base in Jammu region by Pakistan-based terror group Lashkar-e-Toiba. Now, monsoon deficit has widened from 2% to 5% in 24 hours. The deficit is biggest in North India at 13%.
Monsoon shortfall has widened from 2% to 5% in the last 24 hours. North India is feeling the absence of the monsoon the most, with a huge deficit of 13%. Central India, which gets the maximum share of the monsoon, is currently reporting a 7% deficit. And even Eastern India, the only region where the monsoon has been active in the last 7 days, is now seeing a shortfall. In South India, where the overall picture as far as the monsoon is concerned is normal, one state, Kerala, has seen a 46% deficit. But there's some good news. The monsoon is showing signs of revival along the west coast, with showers in Mumbai today, as well as Vidarbha and Chhattisgarh, with heavy rain expected in Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh from tomorrow, and in the eastern part of Rajasthan in a couple of days. The monsoon is expected to reach Delhi on the 10th of July, not a minute too soon, as heat wave conditions persist, with temperatures more than 6 degrees above the norm. This is Divya Wadhwa for NDTV.
Well, that's it on this bulletin from the entire team. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.